Alright folks, welcome back to a quick update video. As you guys can tell by the thumbnail of this video, it has been a doozy of a January. I've had a bunch of viewers and other content creators messaging me and asking why I haven't posted much. So I figured I'd just do a quick update video. I don't do many of these videos. This is actually the first one I've ever done. But I feel like this month deserves a little bit of explaining, so we're going to get into that right now. I'm going to pull my calendar up here and go kind of week by week what's been going on. I did quite a bit of fishing late December. We had some early ice, so I grinded pretty hard late December. The last video I posted was from January 1st weekend. That's our trout and salmon opener up here in Maine. I actually fished 3 days in a row, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I grinded pretty hard that weekend. So now we're moving into the second week of January, which is January 8th. We had our first COVID positive test Friday the 7th, and I was already thinking about taking the 8th and 9th off. I was getting, I don't know, I had like 5 or 6 videos going that I was editing, and I wanted to get them all edited and posted. So I was already thinking about taking the 8th and 9th off, and with our first COVID positive, I just decided to take that weekend off. So that was the 8th and 9th. I didn't get any filming done that weekend. My daughter came down with symptoms Monday the 10th. I came down with symptoms the 11th. And we both tested positive both of them days. So then we got into the COVID quarantine, all that stuff. Really mild cases, nothing too crazy going on with the COVID stuff. I had a 3-hour fever. Highest I got was like 103.9. My daughter was popping fevers for 4 nights, from like 8 o'clock at night to 1 in the morning. She was popping fevers. But that was pretty much the highlight of our COVID stuff. Nothing crazy there. We was on quarantine from, basically, Monday the 10th to the 18th of the next week, which was Tuesday. My daughter went back to school the 18th. I went back to work the 18th. We missed the weekend of the 15th and 16th because we were on COVID quarantine. So getting into the thumbnail of the video, back to school and back to work for my daughter and I were the 18th. That was also our first time getting the snowmobile out for the season. My daughter's number one hobby is snowmobiling. She loves it. She will snowmobile for hours. Got the sled out for the first time. I hammered around just to make sure everything was fine. It was. She got on it. 20 minutes in, the throttle stuck on her. She had about 3 seconds to react. She hit the brake instead of the kill switch, unfortunately. So moderate speed. I saw the whole thing. Straight into that chain link fence that you guys saw in the thumbnail of the video. She flew over the handlebars. So long story short with that, we went to the emergency room. No broken bones. She got super lucky given what happened. I thought for sure she broke her wrist because she was holding her wrist the entire time. She was complaining about some hip pain. I would assume because, she hit her hip as she was flying over the handlebars. But somehow she made it out, no broken bones. I'm actually shocked. It could have really went sideways really fast, given what happened and where she was. But, she was really shaken up. I was really shaken up. Neither her or I slept that night at all, just because we were so wound up, so nerved up. And, even a couple days after that, both her and I really weren't sleeping well. She was sore for several days after, muscle soreness. She had bruises on both her thighs, both sides of her dinner plate, from going over the handlebars. But that kind of derailed, filming. Getting back to the calendar, that was Tuesday the 18th. So that was all that week. I did fish a little bit Saturday the 22nd of January. It was a brutally cold day. It was predicted to be 15 below zero. When I got to the lake, it was 25 below. I didn't get any real fishing footage from that. I fished a lake that I had fished last year and did pretty well with. Lost all that footage last year. I walked about 1.25 miles. Feel like I overdid it a little bit. I don't think I was 100% recovered from COVID, so I feel like I kind of overexerted a little bit. By the time I got there and set up camp, I was pretty well smoked. I had fished in the first spot for about 1.5 hours, only marked 1 fish. It did travel up, pretty far. I knew it was a lake trout just by the way it was traveling. So 1.5 hours in, I decided to pack up camp. I walked a half a mile back to where I was fishing last year. I should have fished there right from the start, but I set up camp a second time, fished for about an hour and a half, and I marked a bunch of fish there, so I should have fished there to start with. But I did stick a nice lake trout. I dropped it right under the hole, unfortunately. I estimated it to be 6 to 8 pounds, which is a pretty good lake trout for the lake that I was fishing. But other than that, I didn't stick any other fish. I marked probably 6 fish in the hour and a half that I was there. But I actually left about an hour early. I just weren't into it. Physically, I weren't into it because I was, basically recovering from COVID. And mentally, I was still kind of getting over the snowmobile crash. So I left an hour early. I just weren't into it. And that's all I did that weekend. I didn't fish the 23rd. I didn't fish at all this previous week. So now we're into the 29th of January, which is today. We have a pretty good storm. Currently, right now, they're predicting like 12 to 20 inches of snow. Sustained wind, 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 40. And I just didn't want to fish in that wind. My daughter and I are home, just kind of hanging out around the house today, working on a jig rod build for one of the best fishermen in the state of Maine. So I've just been working on this build the last couple days. All I have to do is just put some guide finish on it, and this thing will be ready to roll. So there goes this weekend, the 29th and 30th. I'll have to be doing some cleanup tomorrow because the snow is going to be blowing around so much. Just real quick, I'm going to talk about this real quick. I weren't planning on talking about this at all until I made the actual video about it, but I ordered a brand new snowmobile last spring. I was hoping it would be here for the entire season. It was supposed to be here in November. It got pushed back to December, then got pushed back to January 28th, which was yesterday, and still no call on the snowmobile. It is going to be a fantastic snowmobile for ice fishing. It's really going to open up a bunch of different fishing opportunities for me up here in Maine. I was hoping to have it for the entire season. I was going to do a big content change for my channel, but unfortunately, it just hasn't arrived. With COVID delays with parts and shipping and that whole thing, it's really slowed production of even like snowmobiles. So unfortunately, we're 2 months late with that. I'm hoping to get it, ASAP. I'm hoping to get it this week so I can get the rest of February and early March with it. But that's all I'm going to really say on the snowmobile. Just fingers crossed it comes in soon. So on a more positive note, next Sunday, February 6th, myself and 4 of the YouTube channels are going to be doing a kind of like meet and greet day down in southern Maine. We're going to have all our gear set up, and we've invited the public to come fish with us for the day. I'm going to do a completely separate video on that right after I film this one, going over the details about it. So if you guys are interested in that, if you guys are in Maine, you guys can check that video out and get the details. But that's going to be an awesome day. And after that weekend, hopefully I'll be back rolling, pumping out some ice fishing content. But we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Just a real quick update. Made it through COVID fine. My daughter's fine. She's all recovered. I really appreciate everybody that's got a hold of me to see why I haven't been posting much. But I'm going to try to do a little more of these update videos, as I move forward, just to keep you guys updated with what's going on if I'm not going to be posting. But I appreciate you guys getting a hold of me and seeing what's up. We're going to sign off for this one, and hopefully we see you guys soon.